All right, right front now, Sean Patrick Maloney. He is the former Democratic congressman and ambassador under Biden, SE Cup Republican strategist, and of course, regular here, and Adam Kobeissi, financial analyst and founder of the Kobeissi Letter. Adam, can I just start with you, because we were starting with some of the basic facts here, and Trump's stunning statement. It will be an unforgettable one when he said, "I don't think about Americans' financial situation." Inflation has not been this high in 3 years. Those are the numbers we got out today, Adam. And you have drilled down on just what that means.
Yeah, so, our thesis for the last 12 plus months has basically been own assets or be left behind. It's been pretty widely stated now. And that has really been the situation. It continues to be the case because of the fact that inflation, not only did it not fall to the Fed's 2% target, but now it's back up to 3.8%. And we're dealing with effectively what I like to call compounding inflation. So what does that mean? You had years of inflation that are now having inflation on top of that inflation. And since 2020, really since the pandemic, the US dollar has lost around 30% of its purchasing power, which is,
incredible.
We saw that last in the 80s. That's pretty much unprecedented. And as a result, you're now seeing this, what I like to call a bifurcated K-shaped economy, where those who own assets and those who own stocks and real estate and these various things that are protected against inflation are seeing the best economy of their life. But everybody else is seeing a terrible economy where actually consumer sentiment just hit the lowest level on record, dating all the way back to the 1900s last month. So I think this K-shaped economy will continue to widen, and inflation really is the fuel behind that fire.
One prediction which economists do not agree with, but he is making it consistently to Americans and specifically to his base, and this is what it is. Let me play it.
As soon as this war is over, which will not be long, you're going to see oil prices drop, and you're going to see a stock market, which is already at the highest point in history, go through the roof. You're going to see the golden age of America, frankly, and you're seeing it now.
Adam, there's a lot there, but could I just start with the very basic thing here? Oil prices that he says are essentially just going to snap back and be lower than they were before. This is the argument he keeps making.
Yeah, so, look, if the war were to end today and the Strait of Hormuz was reopened today, we'd probably see oil prices fall, 20 to 30%. But to get back to where we were before the war, which was around $55 per barrel, or around a 50% drop, it's going to take a long time, because when rigs shut their production, as we've seen in the Gulf countries and we've seen throughout the Middle East, turning back that oil production on doesn't just happen overnight. It's not just flipping a switch. Sometimes it takes months, even longer now, because some of these rigs have actually been destroyed. So we'll probably won't see full production, which is around 10 to 20 million barrels of oil per day that currently are offline through the Strait of Hormuz. We won't see that come back probably until the end of this year at best. But I want to go to the other side of the point where the stock market keeps hitting record highs. And I think the biggest mistake right now is people who are conflating the economy with the stock market. As I said, I do think the stock market will continue to hit record highs, but that's not necessarily because the economy is strong. Actually, it's the opposite, right? We're in a situation where inflation is high, it's driving people into assets, and then it's also kind of forcing the Fed in this weird situation where they're trying to help the consumer, but they can't. And then these large AI companies are just getting even bigger. So we can easily see this bifurcated economy continue to widen with stocks hitting continued record highs, but that doesn't necessarily mean consumer sentiment is strong. In fact, it's not. It's at record lows. And that doesn't mean that consumers in America are better off on average.
And that's a crucial point.